Almost 4 decades in prison, now told he's an innocent man. Peter Sullivan was jailed in 1987 for murdering Diane Sindel in Birkenhead on the Wirral. As the much-loved florist and bartender walked home in the dark, her killer struck on one of the town's main roads. Nobody saw who snatched Diane Sindel off this busy road and go on to murder her in this alleyway. And it took the police weeks to conclude that Peter Sullivan was their prime suspect. 37 years on, that conviction was thrown into doubt by evidence that had been gathered from the crime scene. New DNA testing pointed to another man. Today, the Court of Appeal was told that the DNA profile of the unknown man had been found in samples taken from the victim. Judges heard that the genetic fingerprint obtained by the Criminal Cases Review Commission fatally undermined the conviction.
The reality is, with this scientific evidence, if this case was one which was being considered, we don't see how it could have passed a threshold for which a prosecution could take place.
And then, justice. Peter Sullivan watched from Wakefield Prison and quietly wept as the judges set him free.
In the light of that fresh evidence, we allow the appeal on ground 1. We quash the conviction.
Outside court, Peter Sullivan's solicitor read a statement on his behalf.
I am not angry, I am not bitter, I am simply anxious to return to my loved ones and family, as I've got to make the most of what is left of the existence I am granted in this world. Finally, I would like to say how sorry I am to the family of Diane Sindel, who have now got to come to terms with the death of their daughter being down to someone else, and I long to see the right thing done for this horrible crime so that they will find peace.
Peter Sullivan's brother Dave said the family had never given up hope.
He did not have a violent bone in his body, and to be charged with that crime at the end of the day, it sent shockwaves through our family. Even at the time that he was convicted, my own mother.
I mean, did it feel like a terrible shame on the family?
Of course it is. We've kind of looked, when Peter served 38 years here on the inside. We've served 38 years on the outside.
Today's judgment means that a man described as having a low IQ and susceptible to pressure sat in prison while the real killer was loose. Back in 1986, Merseyside police had so few leads, they appealed for help on Crime Watch.
We haven't got any sightings whatsoever of Diane walking back along Borough Road towards the town centre.
Detectives are now back at square one.
We just really want to appeal for people who may now reflect, and albeit it was 38 years ago, do you remember anything from back in 1986 that may be relevant to our new investigation? And we would urge people to come forward with that information by either contacting us by 101 or Crime Stoppers.
They're not alone in starting again. Peter Sullivan left Wakefield Prison within hours of the court decision, driven away to rebuild his life. But in Birkenhead, there's no closure for those who knew and loved Diane Sindel. That is now once more an unsolved and horrific murder.